Well, I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah,
he wanted
true.
big.
Well, on ice, no, off ice credibility.
Yeah,
off ice credibility. Because he has no on ice credibility.
He wanted big money, and he held out to get a long contract.
What is it? After 1 year, 2 years?
He wanted
1 year.
He wanted Drew Doughty money. So he
wanted
8 years, $40-50 million, and Montreal, I think, is smart in saying no. We're not going to give you that. You really haven't proven that much. You've showed flashes. You are on the trend upwards, but
you know what's
sorry, holding out doesn't do either Subban or Montreal any favors, and I think it's going to come back to bite Subban in the butt because of how well Markov has played. Diaz has played really well on the power play. Yes, I know PK Subban is a fan favorite, but it's uncalled for. Him and Jamie Benn both signed.
Do you know what the difference is? That the Habs, or Montreal Canadiens, whatever, I call them the Habs, they never once said that PK Subban was the franchise player. The difference is that Dallas Stars pretty much...
They need Jamie Benn.
They said Jamie Benn is our star, number one center, franchise player. And he still didn't sign for a stupid amount of money.
Jamie Benn got 25 or 26 over 5.
Yeah. For a franchise player,
Joffrey Lupul money.
For a franchise player, is pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
So
that's how teams should do it. If you look at, and I don't want to go back and reference St. Louis, but can you think of one highly paid player on that team?
No.
Yeah, I bet you couldn't even name the highest paid player on that team.
Even an unjustified paid player. You know?
Like David Backes is a really good player. He's an all-star. Halak obviously is a very good goalie, but when you think of the St. Louis Blues, you don't think of a guy that stands out to you as much as PK Subban would. And
what, in your opinion, this is just going along that line of thinking, what is the complete opposite of St. Louis then? What team?
A team like...
No, just like a real team, like right now, like Philadelphia? No.
Chicago.
Really?
I would say so. Like
6-0 team. I'm talking about a team maybe that has way overpaid players, but is like not even in a playoff spot right now. To me, maybe Carolina,
Calgary.
Oh yeah, Calgary.
Iginla and Kiprusoff and Bouwmeester, and then see you later after that. The Bouwmeester isn't even that good anymore.
Calgary's pretty bad when it comes to contracts and losing.
Minnesota was bad for a while before they got Parise. They had no cap space. All their money was tied up in Mikko Koivu, Danny Heatley, and Nicholas Backstrom, and they weren't going anywhere. But
yeah, so...
Next topic, quickly. Jarome Iginla, scoreless. Phil Kessel, scoreless.
Who would
Alex
you have?
Ovechkin, 1 goal.
Who would you take out of Jarome Iginla or Phil Kessel or...
Right now?
I'm not going to say Alex Ovechkin.
I haven't watched enough of Calgary to see how Jarome Iginla's played.
Yeah.
At least watching Toronto, we know that Phil Kessel was 2 inches away from a goal against the Islanders.
And he's defensively a lot better.
Yeah,
thanks to Carlisle.
He's back checking, but
he's doing a lot more than he has been in the last 3 years.
Fleury robbed him in Pittsburgh.
He's been robbed a lot in the last 4 games.
He had a breakaway. Carey Price stopped him in Montreal.
And as for Jarome, I mean, he's getting older. I mean, can you?
I feel bad for Jarome Iginla because he's such a good guy,
and he doesn't want to leave.
And
it's
he's
like
a soldier for Calgary.
Sundin effect.
Exactly. That's why I call them the West Leafs.
It's the Sundin effect. He doesn't want to leave.
Too bad Matt Sundin and Jarome Iginla couldn't play together at one time.
Oh, that would have been awesome, huh? I don't care what team, but that would have been awesome.
But Calgary just seems to get new guys every year, and they seem to be recycled guys. Yeah. Tanguay, Olli Jokinen, Michael Camilleri, and they brought in Stajan to be a number 1 center, which obviously isn't going to happen. And at least their second line, although Camilleri's on the second line, they have Sven Barchi, who's a nice young guy, and Michael Backlund. So, but Jarome Iginla's better suited on, say, the wing with the Sedins in Vancouver. Like, he'd have a field day. He's not going to win a cup if he stays in Calgary.
So you got 1 goal Ovechkin. Where's him? Where's his stock right now?
I don't know. It's fallen.
Like when you think
Alex
of the
Ovechkin
best,
used to be the best player in the game, like the most exciting.
When you think of the best right now, let's just name the 3 best players in the entire game. Ovechkin's not on that list.
No, he's
Stamkos, Malkin,
Crosby.
Crosby.
Malkin,
Oh God, I'm sure
Tavares could be up there.
Tavares, Hall, Eberle.
Yeah.
You know, Bryant Nugent Hopkins.
I would take Datsuk and Zetterberg over Ovechkin.
Datsuk's still playing. I feel like all of Detroit has retired.
It seems that way, but no, they're still kicking. And
Detroit has defense problems. You know?
But if you're telling me who I'd rather take over Ovechkin, I would take Datsuk, Zetterberg. I would take Kane.
What about out of the
I'd probably
three?
take Joe Thornton. I would take Corey Perry.
Joe
I'd take
Thornton
Ryan Getzlaf.
is amazing. I would take Joe Thornton in a friggin' second over Ovechkin.
Surprising team. Wow, New Jersey's in first. 3-0. Who would have known?
So we got Boston, New Jersey in the East, and we got the Sharks and Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay's in first. They're 4-1.
Yeah, but I mean undefeated teams.
Oh, yeah.
So Boston,
New Jersey,
and
Boston,
New Jersey,
and then Chicago and San Jose.
Okay. So now we talk Leafs.
No, one last thing.
Okay, one last thing.
The man you hate so much, apparently, Nail Yakupov. What did you take from the celebration last week? Did you see it live, or did you see it in the morning?
I didn't. Did I see it live? I feel like I did. No, I didn't.
It went till it was. Sorry,
no, I didn't see it live, but I'm not going to be as confrontational about it as you think I'm going to be, even though I don't like Edmonton that much, only because they have embarrassment of riches. I've said this three times.
Don't like Edmonton. Okay, I'll make sure.
But just bear with me here. In the situation of him freaking out after he scored, the situation kind of was that a goal was called off, and they were trailing in the game, and they came back, and then they couldn't because the goal was disallowed. It was a very emotional game, very physical.
What did you think of it, though? Did you like it?
His celebration?
Yeah. Did you have a problem with it? I shouldn't say did you like it. Did you have a problem with it?
I love the game. I love the goal. I just didn't like his reaction. And I think if you're going to freak out, do something in the middle. Like, don't sit there and go, I scored. But don't do what he did. Be in the middle, you know? I feel like...
So, like a regular celebration?
Like, I'll give you a quick example. The other day... Not the other day. It was like last week or something. I saw, like... Who was it? Nugent Hopkins or Taylor Hall. They scored a goal. I'm pretty sure it was Taylor Hall.
Nugent Hopkins hasn't scored yet. So.
I'm pretty sure it was Taylor Hall I saw. But he scored the goal, and right after he scored, put his stick down, congratulate his team.
So
all
a
class.
normal celebration.
All class, man. Like he I don't know. I get is it a Russian thing? Is it a Russian thing?
I loved the celebration. I thought it was great.
Of course you did, because you like Edmonton. If Phil Kessel ran around naked saying, "I scored my 50th goal," this wasn't even his 50th goal, though.
If he scored his 50th goal, you'd be running around naked.
No, but listen to me. Listen to me.
Hold on. Sorry, go on.
Nail Yakupov scored his second
goal.
Second goal. Okay, his first goal was overblown as well, in my opinion. But you know, whatever. It's his first goal. I let that slide. But then when he scored the second goal, you know what? I would have been really excited. I would have done the whole, like, you know, the whole dragging your hand on the ice and doing the Indian thing like Nazem Kadri in the London Knights, you know. But I wouldn't run down the ice like I won the Stanley Cup.
The thing is, what you said was right, though. They had a goal called off that shouldn't have been called off. Yeah. Nugent Hopkins scored, and Gagne's was stuck to quick because the defenseman pushed him in. So that's with less than a minute left. So you're thinking, oh my God, you know, they're done. There's a face-off with 10 seconds left in the zone.
And Yakupov scores.
And they win the face-off, and the shot's blocked, and you're like, okay. And I was watching the game live, and Hall just gets the puck, and it was one of those... Just from the juniors when Tavares put it on net and Eberle put it in with like 3 seconds left. It was like that. Yeah. That's what it reminded me of. And Hall just kind of threw it at the net, and Quick makes the save, and the puck's in midair, and Nail Yakupov's right there and swats it in. And the building went nuts. I went nuts. I couldn't believe it, how Edmonton rebounded. And you just see him flying down the ice.
They're the most exciting team in the NHL.
You see Theo Fleury, right?
And Theo Fleury, perfect example. Yeah, so he's pretty much exactly what he did.
That's what they compared it to.
But didn't Theo Fleury win the Cup?
No, not that year.
Not that year.
That was to force Game 7, and Calgary lost in Game 7.
Yeah, but that's the playoffs. We're talking something totally different.
He's a 19-year-old kid. He has just scored his second goal in the NHL.
Isn't he still 18?
19.
Okay.
And he's just scored his second goal in the NHL to tie the game. 4 seconds left against Jonathan Quick, who he was having issues with during that game. Yakupov put the puck in the net after the whistle was blown. Yakupov was stopped on a breakaway. And he's just letting his emotion out. I loved it. I thought it was great. I don't think players should just be nonchalant when they score a goal. I want to see them jump into the boards, especially when they tie the game with 4 seconds left.
He didn't jump into the boards. He flew across the ice like friggin' Freddy Cougar was chasing him. He screamed, and then he hit the ice and kissed it or some... I don't know. It was ridiculous.
Leafs.
Finally.
Sabres. Tonight, Thomas Vanek returns after a 1-game absence.
Which means the Leafs lost already.
But Toronto counters by putting James Van Riemsdyk up on the first line.
Which means the Leafs really lost